Welcome back to the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford. Another one of our John Fourcade specials, a 2013 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT, $25,982. They have three to choose from here on the lot. Low miles on it. Again, three to choose from: a 2013 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT, $25,982. Man, low mileage, power windows, cruise control, CD player. Come see the dealer for details right here at Veterans Ford. Welcome back to the John Fourcade Show, sponsored each week by Veterans Ford. And John, you got the t-shirts for them, brother.
Folks, come on down here and test drive those vehicles. You get these new t-shirts, a little purple and gold. Come on, man, t-shirt. Look at that bright, flashy there. Then you get a little black and gold if you want, if you're a Saints fan. Come on, man. All you do is come on down, test drive a vehicle, and they'll give you a t-shirt.
All right, come on down to Veterans Ford right here in the heart of Metairie. John, 31-0. LSU puts it on UL Monroe. Man, for the first half, they almost slept off like the Saints did. And UL Monroe hung in there, but one guy who has not slept all season long, Traven Doral, over 30 yards a catch in 3 games, 4 touchdowns. LSU really spanked them good in the second half. UL Monroe looked as though they cashed that check real fast on it. But again, you see some of the things that really makes LSU a team to watch for in the future. All that young talent with Leonard Fournette, with Darrell Williams, with Malachi Dupree. And the young quarterbacks are really going to get tested this week. We're going to talk a lot more about it in the next segment. But look at Darrell Williams here from John Ehret High School.
Well, the whole thing about LSU's offense right now is they have some talented football players, big offensive line. We all know what those veteran guys can do. But they got 4 running backs, 2 of them are freshmen, very talented. What a crew of receiving core they have, Mike. Only problem I see with them right now is their quarterback scenario. They got 2 guys back there trying to find out, Jennings and Harris, who's going to take the reins and run with the football to do things with it. They're struggling throwing the football. I know you look at, they got yardages and they got things in it, but folks, it's not just about the yardages and the touchdown. It's about the overall picture of the quarterback play. Defensively, I love those secondary players.
Well, you know, one of the things is the biggest improvement, certainly from a year ago. And you see here, man, once Leonard Fournette turns the corner, yeah, I mean, not a lot of guys are going to catch him out in the open field. LSU, 372 yards total offense. UL Monroe, 93. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, that defense has really played great. But I think the biggest improvement from 2013 LSU to the 2014 LSU is tackling on defense. They take great angles to the football, and when they get a guy in the open field, he's going down. A lot of it having to do with their secondary people. And even second-string guys. Dwayne Thomas, Perry Walker, he's a second-string guy. He leads the team in tackles. You see Jalen Mills, Jalen Collins, Tre'Davious White, Rashard Robinson. You can go on and on. And the 2 freshman kids in Paris and Adams seen a lot of playing time. Man, when you look at that, that is so impressive. But I really think the open field tackling skills of a young LSU defense has really stood out.
Mike, they've played a lot of players up front, and that's been the key to LSU over the years. Is how many players they played? 6, 7, 8. They play a lot of these kids, and they give them an opportunity to play. And that's the thing about going to LSU. You're going to play early if you're a player that can contribute. And that's the big key. And the tackling has been there. They got some sacks, but granted, they played Sam Houston State. They played UL Monroe. They're going to play another good football. Well, let me verify. They're going to play a real good football team this week in Mississippi State. We all know who's coming in to play with these guys. First game SEC. They've beaten them 17 times in a row, 21 of the last 22 years. Will this be the time Mississippi State upsets? We'll see what happens. They are bringing in with a good quarterback. So LSU secondary will be tested this weekend, but you're right. They know how to tackle. They know how to pick off passes. I love what they're doing right now with that defensive secondary.
We're going to go and show you the poll of the Associated Press. And what's impressive about this is 5 teams from the SEC West in the top 10. Now, just take a good look at that, because you may not see that again, because these teams are going to start to beat up on one another as the season goes along. But it's just amazing. Not only the Southeast Conference, but the SEC West. We haven't even talked about Mississippi State in that bunch, but it does go to show the strength of college football. And you can debate all you want from year to year, but the Southeast Conference, and this year especially in the SEC West, you talk about a street fight, and that's what you got to see who's going to come out of it. Again, Alabama, to me, is still the cream of the crop. But listen, an Ole Miss, a Mississippi State, an LSU on that given Saturday, they could go down.
There's no doubt about it. If you look at it, and over the years, I played in the SEC. I'm not going to sit here because I played in it. The proof is
it is what it is.
It is what it is, folks. If you look out there, it just tells you 7 of the last 8 years who won the championships. But let's be honest here. They got 4 or 5 clubs right now in the SEC West who can probably beat anybody in the country on a given day on a neutral field. That's why people don't like it, because they have too many players and too many teams that can just beat your team.
It's like a diet. What you put in is what you get out. That's why the top players end up going to most of the SEC schools.
I need to go on a diet.
And you can, oh yeah, one of those, one way or another. One of the things, though, I think was the biggest surprise this weekend, Tulane. And I mean, in a convincing win, maybe one of the biggest wins of the Curtis Johnson era at Tulane. And I mean, they really spanked Southeastern from one end to the other. John, that was an impressive football game. They put pressure all game long, but man, Tulane came out and really, really played well, and they got some offensive firepower there with the running game, Tanner Lee throwing the football, and it all worked for them against Southeastern.
I just think, look at this pass right there first. I'll get to this back what I got to say. Good pass, good touchdown. Tanner Lee has played some good football for Tulane. He's not lighting it up and everything, but he's being consistent when he comes to play football. Tulane showed up to play this week. I really, truly believe Southeastern was overmatched. One is they played in front of a big crowd. First time they ever probably played in front of that large of a crowd.
Brian Bennett had no shot in some of those plays.
And it's just, they dominated. Look at the size, look at the holes here. The running game for Tulane showed up. They played well. Plus the defensive side of football showed up to stop a Bennett who, we all think Bennett's going to be playing on Sunday. We know he's going to play on Sunday. The numbers that Southeastern puts up, but Tulane came here and home opener. Well, they lost the home opener, but it's the next game, and they won it at home. Congratulations to Tulane for the big victory.
And watching more and more, I brought this up last week. Tanner Lee reminds me so much of Patrick Ramsey when he was at Tulane. I mean, he's got a little bit of gunslinger in him. He's willing to take a chance sometimes, but he's really aided when he's got a running game going for him. I thought Tulane's offensive and defensive lines won that game for them against Southeastern. Southeastern looks overmatched in that football game, and I was surprised because they were pointing toward this game as, you know what, we want some respect here going up against a Tulane football team, and they just didn't play well at all. And you got to give Tulane, Curtis Johnson, getting his team ready after a good spanking they took the week before against Georgia Tech.
Well, Southeastern came in, and this was like their big bowl game, their big game. Other than them playing the FCS, playing against those type of schools, this is a situation where they had an opportunity, didn't show up. Tulane showed up. Tulane couldn't have lost this football game because they can't go around saying we lost to Southeastern, but now they got back on a winning streak. We'll see what they do this week against Duke.
Yep, on the road against Duke, and we'll be right back right after this commercial break, and we want to thank Veterans Ford for sponsoring the John Fourcade Show. We'll be right back.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.